Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to be looking at the $1,000 gaming PC build that I done last month. But before we continue, I have to say a massive thank you to the people who made it possible, and that is box.co.uk for sending me the motherboard, the CPU and the RAM memory, Silverstone for sending me the beautiful case to put it in, Be Quiet for putting in the power supply unit, obviously Shack Mods for the amazing cables we've got inside there, and all the others that came along for the ride as well. So that is obviously PNY, we've got MSI in there as well, so massive thank you for MSI because they supplied the motherboard and the graphics card. The graphics card I already had, but I wanted to put that in there because it was red and black themed, so being a massive fan of MSI, it had to go in this machine as well. So without further ado, let's get into the benchmark, shall we? So looking at the benchmarks, I had to test out the Skydiver, as it's my personal favourite. I love all of the beautiful scenes and the cinematic camera shots that's involved in this benchmarking, but it was the one that the system actually recommended as well. We're seeing frame rates of over 40 frames per second, which, to be honest, it isn't as smooth as 60 obviously, but it makes an enjoyable experience overall. You know, most games on consoles run around 30 to 60 frames per second, and picking up a score of 8,922, which in my personal opinion is absolutely brilliant. I was only expecting around about 6,000 to 7,000 at the most. But 8,900 was absolutely brilliant. CSGO 1080p, nearly everything turned on, even anti-aliasing is turned up to ×2, and this was absolutely brilliant, most of the time hitting well over the 60s, which made it very, very smooth like butter, and the whole graphics, the experience as a whole was very, very enjoyable. You know, please don't laugh at my skills. I really do suck at this game, but I do like to play it. It is fun. Moving on to Team Fortress, again 1080p, nearly every single setting is absolutely maxed out, and it runs really, really nicely and smoothly. A lot of the time it did hit well over 60 frames per second, which is exactly what you want if you're playing the game competitively. And for a processor that cost, you know, just under £100, a motherboard that would have cost just under £100, RAM memory is around about 60, depends where you look. And yeah, we do have a top-end graphics card, but the whole thing runs so beautifully together. Moving on to Paladins, we saw the same again. Everything was set to Ultra on 1080p, seeing frames per second well over the 60s yet again, which, to be honest, is absolutely fantastic. This is a very, very popular game online, so you really can't complain getting that sort of performance out of a game such as this. So guys, looking at what we can see from the benchmarks and the gameplay results, it isn't an absolute powerhouse, and you know, it didn't cost the most money like some other builds you see out there. I'm happy with it. You know, I've got a computer that I can use for editing, which is absolutely fantastic. Yes, I will have to upgrade the RAM, but that's not a problem. But overall, the Intel G4620 does the job absolutely fine. It doesn't bottleneck the GPU, as you've seen. The RX480 runs perfectly well with this setup. The motherboard is absolutely fantastic. I do love the motherboard, but the way it lights up and everything like that. Yes, I did spend a little bit more on aesthetics and a lot more storage than what I should have done, but it's, for me, this personal rig is for me for editing, playing games, etc, etc. So that's where the extra costs come in, from the extra SSDs, the fancy cables, because I'm going to move the PC up on my desk when I get the new countertop fitted. So it is all going to be future-proof for my personal use. I would like to say a massive thank you to box.co.uk for sending me the processor, the motherboard and the RAM, Silverstone for the case, Be Quiet for the PSU, and definitely a big shout out for Shack Mods for them beautiful cables. And obviously guys, I will be leaving all the links in the description below if you want to go ahead and purchase them. I will be doing more videos later on just to actually review the parts inside here. So guys, shall see you very soon. Thank you very much for coming, and I'll see you in the next video. So until then, bye.